Hi, everybody. Welcome to Squared Up. I'm Bill Swinford.
And I'm Monica Swinford.
And I'm Tom Mann.
Great. It's so good to have you here again for another episode of Squared Up. And I don't know about you, but I am already feeling the holiday pressure come on me. Things are getting busier and busier after we came off of our summer, which would typically be a little bit of a break, but we had some big things happening this summer. We had our wedding and
then we had a month to kind of
recuperate from our wedding.
Decompress? I don't know. That's the right word.
So now
decompress, maybe better. Yeah.
Decompress, yeah. So now the holidays are kind of starting to come in.
Well, okay. So that's the question: is October a holiday month or not?
Well, I think to prepare for the holidays.
I mean, are we in the holiday season when we're in October?
I that's a big controversy. Some people don't like to hear about holidays until we get into November, but I think in this day and age.
But there is a what is now one of the most popular holidays is in October.
On top of everything that we have to do successfully during the holidays, which also on my mind, we have our October luncheon coming up, which I'm so thrilled that Dr. Glenn Pichard is going to be speaking.
That you're talking about the Heron Chamber of Commerce.
The Heron Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and he is going to be speaking and also giving in a plug for his tour that he's been doing across Southern Illinois to raise food for food pantries.
Be October 21st?
8th.
8th. Yeah. October 8th?
It's the fourth Tuesday of every month.
But that's not October 8th.
28th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The fourth Tuesday of every month, unless there's something like, except for Thanksgiving, November.
I go to these luncheons every month. I never pay any attention to when they are.
When they are, yeah.
I've managed to get there though.
Yeah.
So so you were able to, as director of the chamber, you were able to line up Glenn to come and do a little bit of his thing that he's been doing. Yeah. For the food pantry.
Yeah, he's going to touch base on other topics as well, that are for businesses, that are something that businesses would want to hear. But he's also going to talk about his recent charitable gifting that he's involved. Tour, which we both attended, and it was really amazing. It was like sitting down to an afternoon of NPR radio.
He gave us a taste of it right here, sitting right here between us. And he tells these wonderful poems, even sings a couple of songs. Right. Now, I'm not sure what he'll do at chamber, like you said.
Did he sing songs? He didn't sing songs here.
He sang songs.
He didn't sing songs here, but he did.
We were surprised.
In the
when we
Glenn Pichard
he has
songs,
a beautiful
songs?
singing voice.
Yeah.
Really?
This was at the Varsity in Carbondale when we went and saw it. It was his first one, I believe. Mm-hmm. And sang a couple of a cappella, kind of old spirituals in a way. Maybe at least one of them was. Yeah. And so, we knew then, we were just blown away by the entire program. We knew then that it would be in demand. And I'm glad that those that are involved in the Heron Chamber that haven't gotten a chance to see that will get a taste of that. But his main intention, as you said, is to draw attention to our local food pantries. Mm-hmm. And this is the time of year, even more so, that these food pantries need to be fully stocked and able to help people through the holiday season, preparing for the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of us, I know I've been in kind of a bubble. I did not realize that the food pantries were so low until I started seeing it come across my social media, and then, of course, in conversation with Dr. Glenn Pichard. So we definitely want to do our part to make this concern more visible. Because it's really easy once the craziness of the holidays set in and we have all of these things on our to-do list and our checklist. We really need to be aware of those who are struggling. And
so we have lots of opportunities to help folks prepare for the holidays and be ready to help those who can't do as much for themselves in the holidays. Food pantries, his drive, and our special guest today is Darla Harms, who is the Assistant Director of the Southern Illinois Salvation Army of Southern Illinois. And she's going to come and join us and talk to us about what they do this time of year and around the holidays, and how we can help the Salvation Army do what they do, what they've been doing for a long, long time. Yes. And so we look forward to having her on here in just a little bit. But there'll be other drives talking about the holidays. There'll be opportunities to participate in drives around Thanksgiving and around Christmas, toy drives, all kinds of drives. But first, we've got to get through what I was talking about is the big October holiday, Halloween.
Yeah.
And you and I, as we discussed, are going to a Halloween party.
We are.
We are. I've become aware that there are things happening around the square, being planned around the square for the month of October, leading up to Halloween. Some trail of treats kind of things that'll be happening. We'll watch the Swinford Media Group, watch our publications and our socials to get the latest on those opportunities. We may participate in that depending on what our schedule allows. Right. But we're very busy right now because when you watch this podcast back, this will have already happened, but the Oasis Group is opening the Oasis Mall.
Yes.
The former Illinois Center Mall is now just called the Oasis, and they are opening it to the public to see for the first time. It's now open. If you're watching this, it's now open. You can go there. You can visit the
Oasis tree. That's what
the Oasis tree. Have you seen this in person yet?
I haven't seen it in person. I've just
saw
seen the pictures.
I saw it just 2 days ago, and
wow.
It's like something out of Disney World. You walk up to this thing, and it's beautiful. It's like a tree of life kind of a look. Stretches way up into the glass ceiling. And everything around it is terrific, and all of the space around is terrific, and it's stocked. You can go in there, but the other parts that we're learning is that they've decided to go ahead and put the home store for Oasis into this end of the mall. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a little something for everybody to shop with, and so you can go check out the home goods, the appliances, and those types of things. Of course, Anderson Furniture is already on that end of the mall too, and you can look at the motorsports. The Harley Davidson dealership is moving quickly into Oasis, and then the entertainment center. We got a sneak peek at the entertainment center, which includes, and it's pretty much ready to go. Not the whole entertainment center, but the 12-lane bowling alley looks really great. And then they're installing now the indoor go-kart track, which you'll be able to just kind of like walk right under these go-karts going over your head and all around.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really nice restaurant on that end. There's we saw a very cool laser tag arena that's part of it.
That's one of my favorites, laser tag.
Is
I
it?
really get into that. You get my heart racing and
Really?
blood pressure goes up and I have to stop, but it's really good.
It's been a long time since I played laser
Oh,
tag.
yeah, but I love it. I used to, yeah.
Maybe we'll have to go there. We'll just have to go there.
We need to do that.
We'll have a Swinford Media laser tag
That sounds like fun.
battle,
Yeah.
right? Once and for all, you know.
It's been a
settle
long
this thing.
time since I played laser tag, but I did pretty good.
Everybody get their frustrations out.
My inner hitman come out.
And then on the other side, and then just right down there on that entertainment center end is going to be a huge kind of convention center that is going to be a huge ballroom that can hold thousands, or broken up into several smaller ones. And it's just there's just so much space when you have a mall. Tom lost his light.
It's okay. We're doing all right, though.
We're lit, and that's the important thing. You don't need to see Tom.
No.
That's okay. So, but when you have a mall and you clean all the stores out of it, all of a sudden you got a lot of room. And I didn't realize how much room was in there until we were walking around yesterday. It's going to be quite an experience for people.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I remember just walking through the mall when it was empty, and it was
sad.
It was so sad, and just to bring this new, fresh wave of life and excitement and fun, so needed.
Yeah, and so with all of these opportunities coming up, we'll get to hear Dr. Pritchard's plea for the local food pantries. We'll get to participate in giving candy to kids around Halloween. We'll get to visit the Oasis Mall. But as you mentioned, we're all getting ready for the holidays, and the Salvation Army is getting ready too. And so we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and ask Darla to come on in, and we'll get her set up as I introduce her. Darla Harms is the Assistant Director of the Salvation Army of Southern Illinois. Their office is located right on the square. Speaking of squared up, they're right on the square close to us, and they do great work. A lot of people know them for their store that you can visit there on the square, but there's a lot of other things that happen out of that office, out of that building. And Darla's going to tell us about those things right now. Darla, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm really glad that you're here. And I've only known you for a short time and come to know you from you being around the square. You came to our Friday morning devotion group one time, and I realized who was over there at the Salvation Army. But I've gotten an opportunity to hear you speak and do some of the other things that you do, and I've got a lot of respect for you.
Well, thank you.
I'm curious, how long have you been in this current position, and how did you come to be the assistant director of the Salvation Army?
Well, I've been there since February, and we moved to Southern Illinois for my husband's job.
Okay.
And the job needed a shift, and he decided to start his own company. So I was a solopreneur before that, and it was my turn to find the steady paycheck with the benefits. And so I applied at the Salvation Army, which wasn't hard. Our values certainly line up, and they have a terrific reputation, so I applied and got it. And the rest is kind of history, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I grew up, of course, all of us grew up being aware of the Salvation Army, seeing people ringing the bells back in the day, hearing the Salvation Army band playing, the holidays and things like that. That goes back a long way when you see that. But I remember going to a youth ministry conference back when I was a youth pastor, probably 30 years ago, and there were a couple of gentlemen there in uniform. I was like, they're military? What? Who are these gentlemen? And they introduced themselves, and I realized that they were officers in the Salvation Army. And I said, wow, this is really quite an organization, and I know so little about it. What can you tell us, just in a nutshell, a little bit about, the history of the Salvation Army itself?
Sure. It's about 150 years old. It started in London, England, and William and Catherine Booth are the founders of the Salvation Army. And William Booth was a pastor and decided that he wanted to extend grace and compassion beyond church walls. He was ministering to a lot of wealthier individuals in their society. And I believe the story goes, please do not hold this against me if it's completely wrong. I'm still kind of learning the history, that he brought some young men who were disenfranchised to church, and the church members were not very happy that he invited them. And so he's a bit of a rebel. The Salvation Army was, when it got started, people were really angry about it. They didn't like it, and didn't like that he would go out in the community and witness to people and serve people food. There was just something about it that was so different than what the church had done up to that point. And so he left and started his ministry. And if you've ever heard getting off the wagon, that phrase, it actually is coined by the Salvation Army, because he used to take his wagon around the streets of London and pick up all the people who were drunk, put them, or I'm on the wagon or off the wagon. I'm not 100%
No,
sure.
that makes sense.
But it fell off the wagon. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Monica.
Fell off the wagon. I didn't know that.
So it started, that's where it's from. And actually, National Donut Day is from the Salvation Army. Donuts were created during World War I to feed soldiers out in the field. So Catherine Booth.
They're all healthy.
Yeah, Catherine Booth and her lassies, with an interesting name, made donuts. It was cheap. They tasted good. You could fill helmets full of them, and they would carry them out to the front and feed soldiers.
Oh, that sounds
Isn't that
awesome!
crazy?
Wow,
I mean, I love it.
That's
It's a great story.
That's a great. If that was all the Salvation Army had ever done, that'd be fantastic. Handing out donuts to people, but they do so much more, and they have a rich history. I know. In Marion, I know there were times when there was there were services being held in Marion by the Salvation Army. There were other things, but the presence that we've always seen between the thrift store and the other ministries that are done through the Salvation Army have been consistently strong in Marion. You tell me that Marion is pretty much the home office for Southern Illinois
it is.
Branch of the Salvation Army. And you've been there since February. So, what's your day like when at the office there on the square?
So my day, so I'm over all of service extension for Southern Illinois. What that means is if there's not a core, and a core is where the officers are, that's typically where they have services. There is no core in Southern Illinois. There's just service. It's an extension of service, I guess.
Right.
And So I'm over all social services components. So the food pantry, rent and utility assistance, all disaster relief is my responsibility. If a victim of a fire comes in, we help that individual.
So you're actually meeting one-on-one with folks that are coming in.
My caseworker meets
Okay,
with them.
okay.
I kind of supervise all of that. And then I'm
Okay.
overall fundraising and development, awareness, speaking, connections in the community. So I travel a little bit. I'm involved in the Heron Chamber, Marion Chamber, Carbondale Chamber. And I also have another group called the Southern Illinois Collaboration and Leadership Initiative that I started before I joined the Salvation Army.
Collaboration. Okay.
And lead her ship initiative. So
Okay.
I founded that. I'm a leadership
I don't think
coach.
you and I are in that.
No,
Tom.
we're
No,
not
you're
in
not.
that one. We're
That's
not-
okay, but Monica is.
I am, yeah. And
So
I've been to
yeah, she's
other
heard me speak,
programs,
and
yeah, they're great.
so I'm a leadership and coach, speaker, trainer, and author, and I've been doing that for 14 years. Brought that to the Salvation Army. Said, hey, I have this group. If we're trying to build awareness and connections in our community, can I just keep doing it?
Yeah.
And then they pay, and then the money goes to the Salvation Army.
Well, that's great because I do think that one thing that's needed to happen is that profile needed to be raised a little bit and have more of that community presentation, having somebody up in front of the organization, representing the organization to the community, and you're doing a great job of that. Like I said, I've worked in Marion for decades now, and I couldn't tell you who any of your predecessors were, and that's not their fault. It's probably my fault, but it's the fact that you are getting out and about in the community is really helping us and sitting here with us today. So as you sit here today and you know the holidays are coming, and we know that as we get closer to the holidays, we'll see the kettles out and we'll see the drives going on. But what can we do? What can the public do to help the Salvation Army meet these needs, not just at Christmas time, but in the coming year? What are your greatest needs right now?
Well, we have a couple, honestly. One of them is our food pantry. You know, because SNAP benefits have been cut, rent prices are going up, utility prices are going up, and so if one thing were just happening, it would probably be okay. But you've got quite a few things happening at a socioeconomic level for the marginalized that is creating more stress in our community. So do I pay my rent? Do I pay my utilities?
Right.
Do I get groceries? So I think there's a misconception about who comes to a food pantry. So I just want to make sure that's clear, that it can be anybody. We had a woman today. It was her first time ever at a food pantry. She and her husband had just gotten laid off. And I believe she was a proxy for someone else. And our volunteer said, do you need pantry? She just started crying. Like, I never thought I would need a food pantry. I was taught never to ask for help, or the people who come here are bad. You know, they're taking advantage of the system. And that's just not how it is at all. I mean, you've probably got a few folks like that, but it's such a small percentage. It's not even really worth focusing on, but it seems like that's what we focus on. But we should kind of shift our focus to this individual because, I mean, she got a food pantry today. She got a bag of groceries, some protein, she got milk, she got bread, you know, the things that help carry you through a week. And I mean, I've been at a point in my life several years ago where I probably should have gone to a food pantry, but I didn't because I was raised that way, that you don't ask for help. People who get social services or any kind of help from the government, right, or go to a social services agency are bad people. They're lazy, you know, and that's just not true at all. So one of our clients today works at a hotel. She makes minimum wage. She's working. She's older. Her husband's on disability. So she doesn't make enough money to carry them financially. And she's been coming to our food pantry for over 3 years. And she goes, if it wasn't for you, you just help us get by. Like, you're the margin for us. She got a fan this summer. We did a summer fan drive because her electricity wasn't working. Well, it was hot. So she got a fan. She needed some like laundry soap, or we have a few of those things around that we can help with. And that makes the difference for her. It's just the little extra to help people get by. You know, and as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, we're called to do that for people.
Yeah.
We are really called to help the marginalized. Christ had a heart for the poor. He was here. He showed us with he talked to the Samaritan woman, the Then there's the story of the Good Samaritan. I mean, you see how he treated women. He fed the thousands. His heart, when he spoke to the thousands, right? They were not the rich. They were the poor.
Right.
And he fed them.
Right.
And there was some left over when he was done.
Right.
So his view on that is that they're worthy enough for a great meal. Give them enough to be filled.
Right.
And then guess what? There's some left over. So
and when you're trying to and obviously he came to show us that when you're trying to lift people up, when you're trying to help them out of their situation and point them toward heaven, point them toward God, obviously the basic needs need to be met, because when your basic needs are not being met, nothing else really can get your attention. Nothing else matters.
How do we even focus?
Right. How do we even focus on that? Either we are so downtrodden by it, so depressed by it, or we are just exasperated by it. We are anxious. We are scrambling all of the time, and we don't have time to focus on those eternal things. And we are both eternal beings and we are physical beings, and those physical needs really can drag us down. And so there is, and so you saw the Lord do it, going around meeting those physical needs, healing people, feeding people.
Yep.
I love the fact that Salvation Army, as a branch of the church, as an arm of the church, is continuing to do those things. But it's getting more and more challenging all of the time. And I'm sure that you have some folks that, in the same way that we might give to our church or other charities, that they give regularly to the Salvation Army,
Yes,
right?
we do have.
And
Yep.
how can people participate in that? Is there just contacting your office in order to set up like a monthly giving, a weekly giving? How does that work?
So if
You
it's
have a cool program coming out too that you need to talk about,
yeah, I'll
right?
talk about pantry to plate.
Yeah, but not just that.
Tom's
But we're going to
office,
talk about also the other program you're talking about.
The bag, adopt a bag. Yeah,
This is
so
a cool thing.
This is
there's
just
all
brand
kinds
new.
of stuff, yeah. I just heard about it today. So
I met with some leaders in our community, friends of mine like Russ Williams and Carrie Martin, Daryl Wimberly, Whitney Stringer, those kind of people, right?
those folks, yeah.
That are very influential, have contacts, and care about the community too, and have a heart for God. We decided on a adopt a bag program. So I have sourced food through our local community, Walmart being one of them. There's a wholesale food distribution center in Carmi, Illinois that we can go to. For $35 a month, you can adopt a bag of groceries. And this isn't just any bag. This is not hot dogs and mac and cheese, which is very common in a pantry. Not that I don't like hot dogs, but I'm all down for mac and cheese.
I'm good with both. Actually.
Okay, yeah. So what kid doesn't like that? But we want the fish and bread model. Like, we want food that makes sense in the bag.
Right.
Like pasta sauce, canned vegetables, canned fruit, rice, soups, creamed soup, or broths. Things that you can actually make terrific meals with. Right now, we get our food from the St. Louis Food Bank, and they're terrific. They're a wonderful organization, but they're not getting the food that they have typically gotten because of some cuts going on. So food banks across America are, like Glenn Pichard would say, Dr. Pichard, they're just not getting the food that they used to get.
Right.
So here's the thing about suffering. Suffering isn't seasonal. We think about it during seasons because we have a heart for them in the season, at Christmas especially. But I have a heart for them every day. You know, I every food pantry, somebody is hurting. And we are there, whether the community knows about it or not, showing up our best for them. So that bag of groceries needs to make sense, in my opinion.
Right.
It needs to be healthy. There needs to be a lot that they can do with it, diversify it. And for $35, I can do that at the Salvation Army. I promise you. I've figured it out. I've talked to Walmart. I've talked to this wholesaler. We can do it with, and so it used to be that we supplemented what went in the bag from the St. Louis Food Bank, but now that's going to supplement our bag. We are going to control what's in the bag.
Okay.
So when people donate to us, that's that Adopt a Bag campaign. We need 350 donors.
Yeah.
Immediately.
At $35.
$35 a month is what
A month. That's
a
it.
month. a
Yeah,
month.
boy.
You know, one
That's-
bag, your Sunday school class could adopt a bag. Your church could adopt a bag, or
folks,
several.
So, folks, obviously, this is very doable. This sounds like it'll be a great help. And you say 350 will serve.
350 people who adopt a $35 bag will change our food pantry.
That's
It's enough.
And you
We
think
can do
about that. That is us not eating out one meal
Yeah.
for a month. And how many times, honestly, many of us do that a week.
Right.
And I think about that all the time.
And
then
really, a $35 is a pretty inexpensive meal.
I know.
And
Yeah,
you're
th-
able
these
to, and
days.
you're able
And we
to,
could get 5 meals
and
out
you're-
of that bag.
and that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
telling you, I
amazing
can
that-
do it.
that's-
We figured it out. We have spent every set like 76 cents for a can of this, and includes protein. This is not going to be just carbs, right?
And the cool thing
it's good
about
stuff.
this, I got to be honest with you, because it's like I'm one that I don't like all the spending, and I've complained about my taxes. I complain about all those things, but we also have to remember when things do get cut, there are people that get really hurt from those cuts. But those of us who have, we can make up the difference. And I think what's really nice about this program is that we can do that right here. As those of us who live here can do this for our community, and that's nothing. I think that's an incredible idea. And a little reminder always comes to me, also in Scripture talks about what is true religion. It's not going to church and doing all that stuff. It's what? Taking care of widows and orphans and those who are disadvantaged. That's the point.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the greatest thing I think we can do. So I think it's an awesome program. And that bag is very important, is it not?
I appreciate that. And we promise to be good stewards of that. And it's not just a bag. That's a conversation about Christ. It's a prayer. It's in 2026, I'm going to be launching programming that helps elevate these individuals with employability skills, life skills, leadership skills, mindset skills, parenting skills, financial literacy, how to buy a home, how to go from renting to buying, how do you improve your credit score if you need to. We want to do more than just slap a Band-Aid on this.
Right.
We want to equip people to move past needing a pantry if that's possible. And sometimes it's not, and I'm okay with that too.
And to your point about the pantry and the folks that are shy from turning to a pantry when they need to, or were raised differently and feel it's wrong for them to do that. You do have people that give to the Salvation Army. You do have people that already support this, and the reason they support this, why they would not support your work if they thought that everybody coming to the food pantry was just lazy people unwilling to work. They know that all of us, every one of us, goes through stages in our life where we have that kind of a need, and maybe we're blessed enough to have family that we can turn to that have the resources that we need. A lot of us get support from families, but maybe the family doesn't have the resources. They want to help, but they're not able to help. And so, when we say it all the time, it takes a village. Well, it takes a village to feed a village. It takes a village to take care of each other and to look out after each other and to help each other over the hump and to help us through these seasons that we go through. So I appreciate that you are there helping people to find that that self-respect as they go through that process and respecting them, showing them respect as they do. So we're going to tell you. We'll have it in the comments. We'll have it in the post about how you can reach the Salvation Army, and before we get away, we'll give that information on here as well, so that you can participate in these things. That's a great way to do it, and just regular giving of any kind is terrific. One-time gifts are terrific, and that leads to our Kettle Drive. The people that can participate in that. Tell us what you've got going on to kick that off as we look into the holiday season and the time when we normally see these kettles out at the stores.
Yeah, so to answer your question, is it the holiday season? The answer is yes. At the Salvation Army, it is always holiday season.
Yeah.
We always have Christmas on our brain, and our registertoring.com website is up, and that's where people can go to register their family, their business, their church, to go ring bells. So ringing is iconic to the Salvation Army. In Southern Illinois, we use all the money for rent and utility assistance. So we have the pantry, we help with rent, we help with utilities. We're trying to elevate folks. So I know there's a misconception that the money raised here might go to headquarters or to national headquarters, or that is not true. All money raised in Southern Illinois stays in Southern Illinois. So everything that goes in the kettle stays here. It stays in your county. So Jackson County, Franklin County, Williamson County, Saline County, White County. I'm missing a bunch. We bell ring in 9 counties. Even though we cover 23, we bell ring at Walmart's, Kroger's, Schnucks, and Hobby Lobby. I think I got all of that right. It's Sam's. Okay. Forgive me. It's my first year, so bear with me if I missed one. But we have national contracts with those organizations, so that's where we bell ring. And so a county that has those businesses, that money, when we bell ring, it goes to rent and utility distribution throughout the year. So,
I think there's typically a kettle set out on the square as
sure.
well, because I know that Mayor Absher.
He's
done
bell
this
ringing this year.
He's done
I
this,
already got him nailed down.
and he's done this a couple of different places
December
and
5th,
times.
1 to 3 p.m.
But
So you know.
but the mayor and somebody who's very near and dear to us, and that's Katie Frericks, play their trumpets and
Amazing.
and do that at the Kettle Drive. I've already told you I want to participate this year.
Okay.
I want to take a spot and be a part of that. I asked you two to consider doing the same
that
thing.
sounds good.
And
I guess we have to do that.
Come
Be
out
happy, though.
and be a part
You
of
will
that.
be. No grumpy bell ringers.
No grumpy bell ringers.
No, make eye contact and say Merry Christmas. Where's your money? No, don't say that. But and this year we will have a QR code that you can click, so you can send Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay.
Perfect.
Is it Apple Pay?
That's really cool. It's especially those are a lot younger, which I know all of my kids, they don't even use any cash.
Yeah, there's
or
no
anything.
cash anymore.
So
Very
they've come out and they
change.
go, I don't have anything.
Just click the QR code and you can send it. They're on the kettle stands, so you can put money in, change, checks, dollar bills, or you can click that QR code this year and make a donation to the.
You know, there's
Illinois
one other thing
Publisher.
that I guess we do need to talk about, that I've got to know a lot about the Salvation Army through a project that I'm working with Darla on, and I would just go and say it's called Pantry to Plate.
Yeah.
Folks get a bag. If you gave me a bag with a lot of food, I wouldn't know what to do with it. How do you cook it? How do you make a meal out of it? And so that's what we're working on, a project where we can show the clientele how they can make something out of the bag. And I found it to be very, very interesting because you can learn how to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So maybe
Catfish Doritos.
So maybe
you ever heard of this?
Taking one of these typical bags that you'll
Yeah.
have,
Dorito
have
catfish.
available to
That's-
people and
Yeah.
showing how to make meals out of it.
Yeah.
Well, so we would set it out and say invite you or Monica or both of
Yeah.
you and say, hey, make a meal.
Yeah.
Pick a dish
No,
out of this.
You'd want her
Yeah.
to do it.
Well, you can make
I'll
hot
chop-
dogs.
I'll chop stuff.
Okay, you can chop. So
Yes.
yeah, I think,
Yeah.
and then we film it, and all proceeds go to the Southern Illinois Community Foundation is our partner.
Yeah, and they're helping with this.
They're going to help, and then once we raise money through this effort, that money will be distributed to pantries throughout Southern Illinois. But the idea is to invite the community into the pantry. So Elisa Bunting with Indigo Realty was our first girl that made it. She made this incredible fish dish that he's talking about. It was Fritos, by the way.
Fritos.
Like,
It was a Fritos or was it
barbecued.
Doritos?
She made a covering for this fish and baked it. It was phenomenal.
Because in the bag you had fish, catfish,
Yep.
and you had
Pasta. She made a
pasta.
pasta.
She made a pasta too. She also made some other stuff, but she made that. And then the other thing was it was Fritos or Doritos. I was trying to think, but
the coating for
that
the
that
fish.
came in there. That was the coating for the fish. I've never had anything like it. In
It
my
was so
life.
good. We were all slurping it down afterwards. I'm
And
like,
it's
are
what's
your
in the
cameras
bag.
off?
That's
Yeah, it was
always in the
what's in
bag.
the bag.
Yeah.
And that way we can highlight individuals like Elisa and her business and talk about them, but it also invites the community into the pantry.
Right.
And I don't underestimate our pantry folks. They can get pretty creative with a little. I think it's more of a challenge for us to do with a little,
it was
right?
good.
I think so. That is if you want to do that and get on our show, Pantry to Plate hasn't launched yet. We're still in the beginning stages, but you can sponsor that and cook. And I'll be your MC and host, and Tom will edit that, and then we will taste test and tell you if it's any good or not.
That's something we'll have to look into.
Yeah.
That's a really
Yeah.
good idea.
So if you want to talk to me about sponsorship, it's $500 to sponsor an episode.
Where do you cook?
Well, Aldersgate Church has been phenomenal.
Okay.
Miss Sarah and Wake and Gabe Wake, they helped us. Our first episode was in their kitchen. We'd love to keep using it because it's a beautiful
Really great.
kitchen.
Yeah, and that's
It's perfect.
and that's our church, and that's
Yep.
fine. We also have a studio. We also have a kitchen in our studio at Growing Media. There next.
That's right.
next
You
door.
do.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it like a
this
full
field.
kitchen?
Ah, yeah.
Full
Yeah,
kitchen. Yeah,
it is.
And
Hey, that's a good idea.
It's really beautiful,
we do
too.
Really?
cooking segments in there all the time,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
Okay, Tom,
there's so
you
many
remember
things. Yeah,
that.
we get ideas.
Yeah.
The neat thing that I learned about it was just how how important that is to learn those things. And the other thing I didn't realize, everybody wants to donate food all the time, but many times, you guys know what's needed to go in the bags to distribute. Sometimes, they have a whole lot of one thing, but not another.
Exactly.
That's what's really good about that. So a lot of people ask, how can I give? Well, sure, you can give food, you can give things. But I think it's really neat if you're like that $35 a bag, that allows, Salvation Army to figure out, okay, we can make this even better for the folks who really need it.
Yeah, we'll put meals
Yeah.
together with that. Listen, food drives are wonderful.
Otherwise,
I
someone would be
never
like
turn
me.
that
I'll
away.
just constantly eat like
But I
mac and
think
cheese,
if people understood the scale of what
Yeah.
we're talking about, so we would need 700 cans of vegetables a month to feed.
Yeah.
That's 700, or we need 700 boxes of macaroni and cheese, or the scale. We feed hundreds of people every month
right.
through our pantry. So I love a little bag of groceries. Somebody drops it off.
Yeah.
Hey,
and you need that. You need
it's
that.
wonderful. But the scale, it's a minuscule amount. Minuscule, is that right?
Yeah.
Amount to what we would actually need for our food pantry.
And it sounds like when you have those cash donations that you can get the most out of
Yeah.
out of every dollar at the store.
Well, and we'll change it up because
Yeah.
it'll be seasonal. So we're entering soup season, right? We
Yeah.
can put bags together that make sense for the season, and then in the summer it might be geared more towards kids
Right.
at home. And so I think if you'll trust us and let us put that together, I'm obviously not hurting for food. I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit, and I could put that together for our folks. And I have a pantry coordinator who puts all that stuff together, who works for me. She is absolutely phenomenal, huge heart for people. I think we can really make something special out of that bag.
Well, that's exciting.
And then we got to remember the other things too, just fires,
Yeah, fire
food,
victims.
the clothing, other things, toiletries, things like that.
Yeah, we always need toiletries. That's something you can do a drive for. Hygiene kits are very important to the work that we do. And we do get a lot of fire victims throughout Southern Illinois. So, and that's all 23 counties. So they are welcome to come to us or for hygiene, diapers, baby food. We give out a lot of laundry, soap, pet food. I watched, we had a front row seat at the disaster when the tornado hit in May. We were part of the disaster recovery. And I saw this community just pour out
Yeah.
kindness and love and compassion. Again, it was kind of on our brains, so we did it. And then it eventually, it kind of goes away. In fact, one of the victims was to have lunch with me that we helped. They decided not to rebuild. They're going to just buy a new home and move in. But she was so grateful. She reached out to me on Facebook Messenger. I'd love to get together and say thank you for that. So I know what we can do when it's on the brain. So I love that it's the holidays. It should be on the brain, but don't forget us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I don't
beyond the holidays, like joy beyond Christmas, giving beyond Christmas is very important to our communities.
I'll tell you what, I can tell that Salvation Army knew what it was doing in bringing Darla on because you're going to keep this in front of our eyes, and that's, as you said, that's exactly what needs to happen. It's not one of those things that we only want to think about when a disaster hits. We want to always be present, so you're always prepared for what comes up. Now let's talk just a little bit more about the Lead Hership.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Monica, what's
so
your
fun.
experience with this?
So so we I attended a few of your workshops and teachings, and can you tell us a little bit more about where that originated and
Sure.
how it ties in also with your work at the Salvation Army?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before starting there, I was a leadership coach, speaker, trainer, and author. I still do those things. But I wanted to elevate women, right? Because one of my favorite leadership quotes is that a rising tide lifts all ships.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're all growing, then the tide lifts. And women, I do training. I try to my best ability. I'm still on my own journey on leadership to take content that I've studied over the years. I mean, I've been studying leadership for over 25 years. John Maxwell, certified coach, teacher, trainer, speaker. I'm the Arbinger Institute trained mindset and leadership coach. So I read a lot. So I just want to take what I've learned that I'm trying to apply to myself and take it to women like you to elevate you. And it's really great because I feel like I learn more in these trainings than I teach. Because when you bring incredibly intelligent women together who want to grow and they start talking, you learn so much more than what I learn, more than what I've prepared.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring that to you in a way that elevates you or any woman in our community. So the reason it's important for the Salvation Army is because first, it's a fundraiser. So people pay me to come and teach these trainings. But second, I want to do the same for our group at the Salvation Army that I do for the women that I'm working with. Because the Lord showed me, it's in Luke, I can't remember what chapter because I'm on the spot right this second, but when Jesus said, hey, go out and get people and bring them to the feast, like bring them to the table. And they go out, well, everybody's busy. I think somebody got newly married. Then there was like, hey, I just bought a couple oxen, I can't do it. So people are busy. That's what I read. When I read that passage, it's people are busy. So they come back to Christ and they say, hey, these people can't go. And he goes, you know what? Go beyond that. Basically, this is my interpretation. Go like to areas nobody else will go to and get those people and bring them to the table. Go get them. I'm going to go get them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring them to the table because I promise you, there are leaders coming to our food pantry. They just don't know it yet.
Right.
There are people who have a business idea, could be incredible entrepreneurs coming to our pantry. They just don't know it yet. So I want them to know it. And then I want to help them achieve it and connect with people like you in the community. We know incredible business people in this community that would help them, who would do interview skills with them and a resume development. Or how do you get into a home if you're generationally, you've never owned a home? How do you break that cycle and buy a home?
Yeah.
You know, and build equity, and real estate is an important investment as you grow and mature in your life. So how do we do that? That pantry has people that can elevate to your level sitting there. They just don't know it. So I want to go get them and bring them up and bring these women and gentlemen, because I do some speaking with Russ Williams at Ethos. Just can we all come together and do it together?
Yeah. I love that.
So that's why I do it.
It's great.
You know, in Swinter Media Group, one of the things we talk about all the time is how, you know, we're here to tell stories, and we want to be very good at telling stories. But the other thing we want to be really good at is helping people write their stories, meaning how to create a vision for what their story is and can be, and then help them to tell their stories
Bring it to
themselves.
life.
And
Yeah, I love
because
it.
there's nothing more inspirational to anybody than to see somebody who has struggled, and like I said, we've all struggled, but has come through that with the help of the Lord, with the help of those around them, and good people, including those at the Salvation Army. Tell us real quickly how folks can get a hold of you. What's the best way?
Well, you can email me. That would be the best. darla.harms@usc.salvationarmy.org.
Okay, and so we'll have that in the post, and go click on that if you want to email Darla, and then you can ask questions about any of these things we've talked about, or bring your own ideas, and
I love that.
and see how you can get involved in helping the Salvation Army continue to do the things they've been doing for 150 years, and do them even better in the Marion area. We do appreciate very much that you took this on, that you've taken this challenge. And we wish you the very best, but we ask you to help us to help you, and help us to know anytime that there's anything we can do to spread the word. We want to be a part of it and share that out. And you ladies, and all those like you that are working together, collaborating to do great things. Keep it up, because you can really tell. You can really tell a difference. We've had some great leaders in our area for a long time. We have so many folks that are not self-interested. They are interested in lifting each others up. And and you're both among them. Tom, you're one of them too. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, we like
That's right.
Tom.
We'll have to do this.
He's
We'll,
a keeper.
we'll have to do this
Yeah.
pantry to plate idea. I think Monica could do
Sounds
some
like fun.
cool stuff with
yeah.
with the food
That'll be amazing.
that is
Yeah.
offered. We can get involved in that, and then we'll also want to help share that with folks and help folks know how to find it and how to
It'll be a YouTube.
watch
Yeah,
it.
it'll be
how
on
to-
YouTube,
so
and
and
we're
it'll
gonna
be
get-
spread
so,
all over.
So that's
Yeah.
something we can share the link for out on posts and things, and so watch for more of that. Meanwhile, don't forget, there's plenty coming up to do, and the date of the Kettle kickoff,
Kickoff is November 7th on the square.
November
And we are
7th?
looking for sponsors if anybody's interested. I'll just throw that
Okay,
out.
we'll have more about that in next week's Swinford Publications newspapers. They will, or maybe this week's. By the time you see this, you can find articles to tell you even more about all of these things. And but in the meantime, thanks, Darla.
Thank you for having me.
For Monica
Thanks
Swinford.
everyone for watching.
Tom Mann, I'm Bill Swinford. Thanks, and join us next time here on Squared Up. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.